Today we have a lot of challenges that we are coping with because we don't work in the office anymore, which can be tough sometimes. It was already tough. What I'd love to discuss today is are multiple things. So first of all, of course, so can you confirm if you can still see my screen? Yeah, okay, awesome. So let's have a quick look on what we are going to tackle today. First, I'd like to talk about the challenges people face during their collaboration process, and not only remotely, but there are already a lot of challenges right now, and remote work also like adding extra things that make it extra hard today. So and we'll see how we can fix that. And the second part will be, we'll dive into StoryChief itself and see how, we can apply that theory in actual practice. I think you guys all have seen this ebook we have sent out. I hope you liked it. We are going to produce more of these ebooks to help you guys out. So yeah, any feedback on it is also appreciated. I will be doing a Q&A at the end. But feel free to ask any questions during the talk, and I'll try to reply as I see it. I have two screens here, so I'm trying to shift, like moving my head from one screen to another. So yeah, let's dive in. So first things first, your process is everything. The process, we keep saying that in the office, we collaborate a lot with each other. We actually even don't notice how many times we ask a quick question to a person next to us. We are just collaborating the whole day. And yeah, today we're not in the office, and it's adding a huge challenge on top of that. So it's very important to stay in the loop when you work on anything. And the problem is that even before remote work, people face tons of challenges there, like the centralized collaboration process here. Always going back between feedback and corrections, ending up with multiple emails and chasing people to get approval, copy pasting everything. It's hard to stay in the loop. It's hard to know what is everyone doing at the moment. How can we help? How can we accelerate? It was already challenging. Sorry. And what we saw always is that about 80% of, a little bit more even, of employees or executive, they acknowledge that like we can do something to make everything better, but they like don't know exactly what they can do. And so they can be like they can be not so productive as they would like to be. And there's the reason for that, obviously. So first, yeah, what we already kind of talked about in the previous slide, it's decentralized content production. You have to stay in the loop. You have to know what is happening right now. You have to know what is the single source of truth. Where is my content? What stage that is? What is the deadline? Who is working on it, and so on. But people use often like very complex or outdated software, or even an outdated process without using any software. And that, like, they have a very slow and delayed approval process as well. It's hard to get feedback from people, especially via email. You need to call them up, sometimes they call you up from all the different channels. They WhatsApp you, they Slack you, they send you an email, they call you up. So it's hard to keep track on it. There's also often no transparency on the vision on where the company is going in a long term. Like, what's the vision? Where do we want to be as a company? How do we get there? What can we do to get there? What are our long-term goals? What are our short-term goals? Like, there are a lot of different things on communication between management and content creators, but also like in between the content creators. They don't see the North Star. They don't see the main picture of where are we heading as a company. People deal with a lot of repetitive tasks. And because of all this, they also don't leverage enough channels because they simply don't have time for that. They just kind of finalize the project and it needs to go out. And then you need to work hard on distribution as well, because distribution, like what we say, content is king, but distribution is queen and she wears the pants. So it's very important to make sure your content is well distributed, because all these efforts would be for nothing otherwise. And of course, people don't measure their ROI simply because lack of time. Often they don't know how to. It's really, a hard process actually to measure everything. So they kind of let it go and then just look at the high level stats. So a lot of challenges there. And now we are adding remote work on top of that. And when it comes to remote work, it's actually, the main things there, it's even harder right now to communicate. It's all about right communication. It's hard to delegate. It's hard to keep overview. It's hard to, stay in the loop of who is doing what and how everything goes. So what can you do as a person about that? That's very important, because everyone can contribute to improve the process. But first, how does all of this actually affect businesses? You should not underestimate on how important these things are. Like, if there's a small problem, it's okay, but if there is a bunch of small problems and inconsistency, that leads to big consequences actually. So usual ones are the costs to reach the target audience are getting too high. The click-through rates are too high because your time costs money. Everyone's time costs a lot of money. There's also lack of motivation. People, it's hard to motivate people if they work in this process, in this decentralized process. Like, if they know what to do clearly, they do it well. But if it's like fake, it's very hard for people. And people work slow, approval process too slow, you have extra costs in operations, you're simply missing out on brand awareness because you're not reaching enough people with your content, you're not leveraging enough channels with your content, you're investing in the wrong channels with wrong content. A lot of things can go wrong, and it all starts, like I said, with the process. If you have this process crisp, clear, then the consequences are different. So what can you do about this? So first thing is definitely clear communication. And even now, having like what we do here at Story Chief, every morning, 9 a.m. sharp, we have daily stand-ups with different teams. So for example, marketing team is meeting each other at 9 a.m. via Zoom. It's like standards, is the first thing in the morning they do when they start working. And they just simply say, okay, this is what I was working on yesterday. This is what I'm doing today. And this is the challenges I'm having. How can someone help, or what can I help you guys with? And everyone does a quick round. And like that, you stay daily in the loop. Another thing is weekly, or we do bi-weekly team meetings. The whole team gathers together. And when the whole team gathers together, we quickly go through the planning, the vision. Every time we go through the vision all over again. Where are we heading? What do we want to achieve short term? Where do we want to go long term? Where we are right now? Who is doing what? How can we improve? Clear communication. It's very important for content marketers as well to understand where the company is heading. What's the company's target audience right now? What content should I create for that target audience? How can I hand over the leads? Every content effort that you do must result in some kind of return, whether it be more traffic, brand awareness, or simply leads, email addresses, phone numbers, registrations, whatever you're targeting. So it's very, very important to understand why we are doing this and to communicate that well. And everyone must stay in the loop. The whole team must work towards that same North Star. Super, super important. Then you can start applying centralized content process with tools and stuff like that. You can create a clear overview of creation process, improve improve the whole approval process. Like, be hard on it. If you need content to be approved, be hard, follow up, chase that person, make sure he also understands why it's so important to get his approval fast. Even if he's busy, he makes to need time for this. If he doesn't understand why, he or she will always be postponing that approval. But you have to clearly state why you need that and why it's important. And if everyone's working towards the same North Star, towards the same goal, and knows how to help each other, they will understand the value of quick approvals and the importance of content. There are a bunch of other things you can do, like automating repetitive tasks and so on, enable your colleagues to reshare, create modern tech stack, and so on. But like on practical side of things, this is the tech stack we use right now when we work remotely. So I'm just going to go through it quickly, what tools we use to improve our collaboration process. So what we do is sometimes instead of typing out emails or typing out messages on Slack, we would just use this Loom Chrome extension. It's free, and you can just quickly click on a button, and your webcam will open, and you just record your message, and it automatically generates a link, and you can send your link to a person via email or Slack, and instead of reading, he can just watch your message. He can reply you back with his own video message, and it's way more efficient to also tell your message to people. So that's something we do often. Another thing is Victera, tools like Victera or Zoom, for online meetings. Victera is a Belgian product, very solid one, very cool guys. Have, I think, COVID-19 discounts right now. I think it's even free to use. It's Zoom-like thing, but without any installations. Very cool tool, and you can actually collaborate there. You can draw on screens, you have whiteboards, you can share documents. Very cool tool. Slack, of course, for chat. We do everything on Slack. A lot of different channels there. We use our own tool as well, Story Chief, and this is what I'm going to show you, like how we collaborate on content within Story Chief. Of course, obviously, the tool to have everything centralized on collaboration part, approval part, but also distribution and metrics. We use Hive for project management, like managing our to-do. We also use Notion, kind of Hive and Notion in between. Mongoose, I think my internet connection is a bit unstable. Yeah, I can continue. I think internet as well. Okay. Mongoose is a tool that we use to do SEO keyword research. That's actually also an important point. If you create content strategy, you need to conduct SEO key phrase research, because if you create blogs, for example, it's very important to score from Google, that people actually find you. So, and to find topics to write about, you can use these kind of tools. And there you can see, for example, like you have to place yourself in the shoes of your customer and think like, what would my customer be looking for on Google that is related to our business? And you can then say like, okay, Mongoose or tools like that will give you the keyword suggestions, because you give one suggestion and they will give you like suggestions on top of it, and you will see how popular there is, like how many times do people actually type that in. And if it's above 100 or 200 times and the competition is very low there, it's definitely a great chance for you to create something about it. And that's how you get scores from Google. And we also use a lot of graphical tools, libraries like Icons 8 for, graphics, vectors. You can even create your own stock photos there. Very cool tool, can highly recommend it. So before we jump in, are there any questions first here? Feel free to chat. If there's anything you have right now, was everything clear for you guys? Was I not too quickly? It's silence on the other side, so I guess it's all fine. Okay, wait. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to head to Story Chief, right? So we are going to take a look at the content calendar, how that works, like where you can see who is doing what. We can assign a brief to someone to actually create a piece of content. We can see how that creation process works, how you collaborate within there, how you get approvals from people, how you optimize your content from search engines, and then how you can actually publish stuff. All right, so I'm going to log in here. I have different tabs open here, and these tabs these things I'm going to use in my content creation process. So first things first, a lot of companies that work with Story Chief have different brands or departments, or a lot of companies are also just agencies creating content for different customers. So when you're logging in Story Chief, the Story Chief gives you a choice to log in into different workspaces. So obviously these workspaces can be your customers or different brands you manage. If you don't have it, you have only one workspace, obviously. So I'm going to dive in my demo account, and my demo account is just a dummy account where I can publish dummy content to all the different channels. So right inside Story Chief, what we have here, we have actually this green magic button. And the green magic button, that is when everything starts. You can create an article, social post, or a campaign. And a campaign is actually a combination of these two things, but about the same topic. For example, let's say I'm creating a campaign. The name for it is coronavirus, and it will run from now until end of June, for example. That's my campaign, coronavirus. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to publish a blog post about remote collaboration on day 1. And that blog post will go out everywhere. And day 2, I will publish a video on all my social media channels about the same topic. On day 3, there will be an infographic on LinkedIn. On day 5, a tweet, then a blog again. So it's combination of like multiple formats of content on different channels, multiple channels, but all about the same topic. And then you can check the performance of that topic. Like there are stats for that topic in particular. And if you run multiple topics simultaneously, you can compare where should we invest more. So what I'm going to do here, actually, I'm going to start with a content calendar thing. So what is happening here is in my content calendar, I can see like what days are free to schedule something on. For example, these days are already taken. There's some Facebook posts going out. And what are my planned actions? So what are my planned drafts? So if I check this, I can see what articles or blog posts my colleagues are working on right now. And I can check, like, for example, okay, show me the stories that Brick here is working on. So Brick is working on these things. And I can say, you know, Brick, by 15th of May, I need a new story. So I just click here, I say plan a story. Let's say the King Brown Fox, you know, in English must be done by 3 p.m. And Brick, you will be the writer, obviously, and it will go in campaign magazines, for example. So I'm going to save that. And what happened is that Brick has received an email notification with the link to the created story. The story is actually created as a draft here. It has already a title, it has a deadline, and Brick knows that. Once Brick clicks on it, he will be able to, you know, go into the editor. This is how the editor looks like. And what I'm going to do before actually like he starts writing, I'm going to assign an editorial brief here to it. So I'm going to add a brief, and the brief will, you know, be stuff like, what is the message? You know, why do we need the story? Who's the audience? Give him some more additional info to write about. You can also attach files to it. You know, say I need 1,500 words, and just click save. So when Brick will log in from his end, he will already see the brief open here and all attachments as well. So he knows, okay, he can close it up, you know, and he can just start writing. And the editor is pretty straightforward. It's distraction-free editor, we call it, because we want people to focus on content and other technical stuff. And what I'm doing here, I'm just starting to, starting typing, creating the stuff. I don't need to click save every time. It's automatically saved here. If I need some options, I get them when I need them. So when I select parts, I get these options. But the real power of Storychief Editor is embedding like integrations capabilities. For example, if I need an image, you can definitely upload one, but you can also just search for one. Just search, and we have more than 1 million images that you can use for free. It's royalty free as well, so you can use it for all your projects. It's high resolution, it's user generated content, so this library is always updated. And also, but that's just an image. But what I can do is I can say, I want to make it more interactive. I want to make it more, easier to read for people. So I'm going to add some interactive content. For example, I can go to Instagram, grab someone's picture here, and just put it here in embed, and I'm embedding this part. So my content is already more dynamic. So it's also interactive for my readers. People will be able to like this part. And yeah, there are tons of different things you can do. You can add videos, of course. You can add, type form, questionnaires, quizzes, even Google Maps, lead capture forms that are connected to your CRM. There are a lot of different options. Let's quickly add a YouTube video here. So I'm going to add one. And my YouTube is in there, and it will look as it should on your end, on your website. So from here on, this will go to your WordPress or Drupal, whatever CMS you are using, and it will adapt to the layout of your installation. So what I'm having here, imagine that that's like the first draft, and I can invite someone here. So just, take a look at it and give me some suggestions. Let's make that Sam, for example. So Sam can just start adding content as well here. And what he can do, for example, is to optimize the story for search engines. So I'm going to add a keyword here, Fox. And the main goal is just to follow these bullet points. It's dynamically changing, and to make sure your score is up to 100%. For example, it says key phrase and introduction. Well, it doesn't appear in introduction. Let's put Fox in here, and my score should go up. Voila. Readability score is like how easy is it to scan by Google, crawlers, but also for people. For example, sentences are too long here. Show me which ones, and it will highlight the sentences that you need to fix. So just bring the scores to 100%, and it will be fine. And when I'm ready, I can do two things. First, I can request approval from someone internally. So I'm going to ask approval from, for example, let's say Sam again. So Sam will receive a notification, and he will be actually able to mark this story as approved or declined, or he can just decline it. And he can also, select this part and say, oh man, comment. Can you rewrite to blah, 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 blah. So, and then you can start a conversation about this particular part within your story, and you have everything centralized. You can see who has changed what, when what was changed. You can restore different versions. It's all backed up for you. And, but imagine I have someone like a customer or my manager who doesn't have time at all to get into the tool. What I can do is I can also ask approvals from him and ask his feedback without letting him to log into Storychief. So I can just type in his email right here, add some message here, some instructions, and just hit send. So he will receive a unique link. It's the same link you can generate here in the preview window. It's unique, and it's also an open link, meaning that people can actually access it without having to have a Storychief account, and they can go through it. It's clickable, it's all interactive. They can play the videos, and he can just give feedback on it. He can say, okay, this part rewrite. Same thing as you did. That's one. And also he will also be able to actually approve. Right now it's not in my view, but if you invited him to approve, he will be able to mark it as green, it's approved. Once it's approved, you know, it's finished, it's time to publish. Any questions here before we move on? All right, pretty clear there. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to publish this thing. So you can obviously download this, you know, in the offline versions, and also a zip file with all the images that you have used in high resolution. But I'm going to, the next step is preparing everything for publishing. So I'm going to create some preview here, you know, excerpt, who's the author, the category of my website where it will end up. For example, on our WordPress, some additional SEO settings, custom fields that you can map to your WordPress or whatever installation you are having. And this is the most interesting part, is actually publishing. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to publish it to my WordPress site, and it's set to primary, meaning that all canonical URLs will be set up correctly. All my links from previews will go to my WordPress in my case. You can also use our own StoryChief blog that we give you once you create your account, and it's free, it's very mobile friendly, and it's just a blog website that you can link to your domain name if you don't have your own CMS system. I'm also going to publish it to medium.com, to blogger.com, to RSS feed, you know, different channels. And what I'm also going to create email for my ambassadors. For example, in my example, I have here a list of 4 people who are my ambassadors. Let's say it's colleagues, just an example here. And I can ask them, hey, can you reshare, please? So what will happen is that they will receive an email with your logo, with your message, the preview that we've created that leads to the full version on your WordPress website. So that's an email with a preview, and they will be able to reshare that, like make their own social post with this link attached to it. And they can, these are actually your brand ambassadors that can give you more reach for free. Super cool feature. A lot of people use it. People use it in very creative ways. They would add like different departments, and based on content, they would activate and deactivate different audience. So yeah, worth checking out. Same with press. If you do press releases, you can put it in here and stuff. You know, your journalists, they will be able to download the content. I'm going to embed it in my weekly newsletter in MailChimp, and my monthly newsletter in MailChimp, whatever yearly mail. So it depends on content. We're going to embed it in the next email, yes or no. So what I'm going to do here next is I'm going to publish it. Just hit publish, confirm, and it goes. That's like step 1, making sure it's published on your website and making sure, you know, all emails are sent out, everything is sent out. And I'm going to promote the story with some social posts. So what I'm going to do is, like, the next step is I'm going to open up the social media editor here, and I'm going to create my own post. It's like a master post. You just immediately create it in the preview window. It's a link already attached. You can modify the link if you want, like change the title and the URL, not the URL, sorry, the image, the cover image. I will put some UTM tags in here to be able to track where, like, if leads would come in, from which post they actually came. And this is the master post that we've created, and it will appear on my Facebook group. You know, we can have different Facebook destinations here, LinkedIn, Slack. My LinkedIn is here in my demo disconnected, but I can connect personal LinkedIn. We even have our employees, their LinkedIn, our marketing department actually creates content in their name or for them, especially for salespeople. So, and when I scroll down, I can tailor it by channel. So you see that my master post has duplicated, is duplicated everywhere on all these channels. So I can just go ahead and tweak it per channel. I can, like, tag someone on Twitter. Oh, my T here. Voila. Schedule it for different date, you know, even adjust the UTM if I want to, you know, localization options if you need to, if you work multi-language on different social media. So, but like, I can also collaborate here. Like, I have this view with all the social posts ready, and I can invite someone to help me out. I can request approval in the same way as I did with the article. I can leave comments for each other. And this is really powerful. Not a lot of tools have that. And even before, and like this is pretty unique, what I'm going to show you right now is even before scheduling or publishing, what I'm going to do, I have this plus button here. And if I click here, I'm going to click on duplicate current. So it actually duplicates the whole thing. And what happens is I'm going to schedule this for 2 months from now, for July. So in July, automatically on all my social media posts, channels, the same social post with the same link will appear. I can change it up, of course. I can modify it, but the link will stay the same, meaning that you will get additional traffic again. So what we do here, we produce a lot of content ourselves. We schedule 6 of these revival social media posts for each blog post that we create. So each blog post that is created appears 6 times during the whole year on all our socials, and we get new audience. We get people who didn't read that before. We kind of reviving this stuff all over again. Okay. So one like final part I would like to show you guys is the whole management thing. Like, how do you? Oh, yeah. I will not influence my own NPS. So what happens? Like, what is happening with my content? Who's doing what? In what stage that is? How can you, keep track on it? You can obviously see that in the content calendar, but this is like the whole library here. You see the whole library is, I have 700 stories, and you have a lot of different things that you can check on. For example, who's the author? Is it approved or is it still pending? When was it published? What is the language? What are the internal tags, and so on and so on. And what I can do, so you can just disable these columns here and enable other ones, like even by destination. What I can do is I can say, I can create filters around it. So I can say, show me all the stories that are published that were created by, let's say, Brick here, and that have more than 2,000 views on all my social media channels. You can also create same folders, like show me all the stories that I need to approve. You can save this segment and it will appear here. So here for this particular one, I have a lot of cool things showing up. For example, I have a story with 54K views here. Okay, let's check it out. And what I can do here, I can translations for the dedicated ones. I can edit it and update it, and it will update it on all my channels. And I can also check what social posts are associated with that story. So I have a lot of social posts going on here. A lot of them are published. 2 are still in draft. But I can also check the performance. Like, I can check the report for that particular story, multi-channel report. And this is something that might be very useful for a lot of people. Also for, customers, if you're an agency or different brand departments. So what I have here, I have a report for the story, and I can see that 67,000 people came in touch with my content in some way or another. And I can measure the quality of it. Like, if I click here, I can see that average read time. Is it long? Is it short? Like, maybe people bounce a lot, and that means I can improve on the quality. I have 0 leads. Obviously, it's a dummy content. But if you use lead capture form, it will count the amount of leads it's actually generated, and these leads will be saved in your CRM or MailChimp list, whatever tool you're using. So you can see that my story generated quite some traffic, some impressions, but I can also check performance by channel. So you can just, check how WordPress done it, how Google AMP done it. How did my social media reporting look like? Who of my colleagues did actually reshared that content? Who of my journalists opened it up, a different ambassadors list, and so on and so on. And you can share this link. It's again a unique link that you can just share with people, and they don't even have to log in, and it's like white labeled. And you know, they can, it's interactive for them as well. They can just go through it and give you some feedback, print it out, save it somewhere, and so on. So that's about it, guys. Regarding how we work, how we collaborate on content. So StoryChief is available for free to start with. You can just go ahead on our website, storychief.io, and you can start your own account. It's free, not limited in time. All features are open. You can invite multiple users, but you can only publish 3 stories a month and up to 15 social media posts, I think. And this is what you can do there. And the pricing page looks like this. So we have different prices. We have self-service plans. These are pro or essential. So you can just go in and buy StoryChief yourself. It's per seat, per user, per month. And depending on the features you want, like essential is more for solopreneurs, people who just work on their own thing. And pro, if you need that collaboration feature, like on the calendar, approval flows. My cat is awake here. It's starting with 24 per user per month if you pay yearly, and if you pay monthly, it's 32 per month. So then we have a custom plan. A custom plan is for bigger brands, bigger companies, different setups, multiple, if you need some integrations from us, if you need some tailored onboardings with your team, if you need different, working, how we call it, workshop sessions and so on. It's 65 per user, but it starts with minimum of 10 users. And we have a lot of bigger companies that are using these custom plans because they have different teams, different setups, and we kind of tailor the whole integration and help them to integrate correctly with StoryChief. One more thing for people that might be interesting, we are having a lot of success with our affiliate program, and we have more than 1,000 affiliates already subscribed and generating revenue. So how that works is that if you go to this link, or if you Google StoryChief affiliate resources, you will end up on this link and you will be able to get your own unique link for free. And what you need to do is you need to, create a review, explain StoryChief, create a YouTube video, blog post, social media post, promote StoryChief on your channels and use that unique link that you've generated. And if someone would buy from that link, and they will, you will get 20% revenue out of it as long as people pay. So that's a great deal. With earning a lot. This is a real screenshot, by the way. That's a monthly payouts we do. So take a look. We have all the resources here that you can use, like how to explain StoryChief, all the videos, all the benefits, reviews. We have a bunch of reviews, all the videos. We've made all our content available for everyone to use in their own project, in their own blog posts. You can use these reviews, you can use the videos, even content from our blog posts. Feel free to use it. So you can download the packages, everything, source files, everything, all the copy, all the images. So how to use the logo and stuff like that. So go ahead, try it out. Think for some people that are attending webinar today, that might be very relevant. If not, of course, just go ahead and convince your boss to start using StoryChief, because it's time to become professional with your content, and don't underestimate how important that is. Okay, that's about it on my end. I will stop talking right now. I've been talking a lot and quickly, but guys, if you have any questions, let me know. Something, let me check if I have here something. Nope, don't see anything coming in, but all right, awesome, John. So what I will do, anyway, tomorrow, I think you will get the, thanks, Dane. Tomorrow you will receive a recording of this webinar to your mailbox, and you can just watch it on your own pace, at your own pace. And I hope it helped you. I hope you can be more productive right now, and keep, following us on all the social media channels, and Stay safe. Ciao. Dag in Dutch.